Hello everyone, welcome to this first film review for 2021. It's been a while since I've made a film review, so I thought I would start off with something incredibly cheesy. This film is called A Werewolf in England, and it is hilariously bad. I was laughing at scenes which were not meant to be funny just because it was so awful. And yet I think there were some scenes in there which were supposed to be funny and they were just cringy. It's got terrible acting, terrible dialogue, terrible camera work, terrible editing, terrible special effects, the visual effects and stuff. It is just terrible, but it's actually really enjoyable, and I recommend you go and watch it. It's like one of those films which are so bad that they're actually almost good. I mean, I've reviewed a lot of films on this channel where I say this film is so bad that it's actually really bad. But this one actually I felt is so bad, it actually made me laugh. And right at the beginning, there's a scene, there's two main characters who are in a coach, and they stop and they make mention to a storm that's coming. And it's like, it's a perfectly sunny day. You can see the sun shining through the trees, there's no wind, and they're talking about a storm. I'm just like, what? Okay, and it just gets more ridiculous from there. Basically, it's a simple werewolf tale. There's some werewolves. If you get bitten, you get turned into a werewolf. That's pretty cliche. So the film starts off with this guy called Horace and Archie, and they're in the carriage. Horace has taken Archie to a court to be convicted for murder, and Archie was like, no, I actually killed a beast and it turned into a normal person. And they end up in this hotel because of the storm. Obviously, this is such a low budget film, they couldn't afford a wind machine, I guess, or a hose pipe to simulate a shower. Anyway, they end up in this hotel and it's basically a bit dodgy, but they stay there anyway, and then death happens. I'm not going to give too much away, but yeah, bad things start happening, and I'm not just talking about the terrible bad acting. Then they try and fight for their lives, and then the werewolves come, and there's more death, and there's a bit more gore. It's like watching an 80s B-movie. If you ever watch those 80s horror films, like the low budget films, terrible acting, a bit of gore. I mean, some people love those films. I actually used to know someone who collected 80s B-movies. This is the sort of thing that he would like because it's just so absurd. And yeah, I mean, the werewolves just don't look scary, just like they're obviously people in costumes going and then there's sort of like a really bad like toilet humor joke. It's just like, what is going on? It's like, toilet humour is the sort of thing that little children like. I mean, there's a sex scene in there which is completely ridiculous, and it's just like, okay, this is like the worst sex scene I've ever seen on something. I'm not sure if they're going for comic effect or whether it's just, I don't know what they were going for, to be honest. And then a bit later on, there's toilet humour, and it's like, okay, it doesn't know where it's going. I say it's a terrible film. It's not like one of those terrible films where I wish I hadn't watched it. I was actually watching it all, and I did laugh. And the guy who made it, a guy called Charlie Steeds, I had a quick look. He's made another film. He's made a couple of films, and it looks like he's been using the same actors. One of them, which I found, Vampire Virus. This is actually free on Amazon Prime if you've got Amazon Prime. So I'm going to watch that later. I don't know when I'll watch that and do a film review for that. But it's got a lot of the same cast, and it's like another horror. So obviously they're into that sort of thing. It's like this group of people. So it might be worth keeping an eye on, see if they actually do anything, become like a well-known brand and franchise of cheesy horror films, or whether it's just a short-term thing, I don't know. It's the kind of film you'd watch with, like, if you're with your mates, okay, it's a bit hard in lockdown, but if there's no lockdown, if you're with your mates and you're having a few beers and you just want something stupid to watch and laugh at, and you can all laugh at it together, then it's ideal for that. And you can just laugh at the absurdity of it while you're with your friends getting drunk. Well, if you want to see any more film reviews from me in the future, click on subscribe and the bell so you get notified when I release them. Hopefully I'll have a film coming out, one a week. That's what I'm aiming for. There'll be a lot more independent films in there that I usually do. And okay, I'll see you then. Bye.